What's up guys, it's Sophie. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I make videos about anything whenever I feel like it. My videos really consist of like travel videos, talking about spirituality, talking about witchy stuff, like whatever I feel like talking about is what I'm gonna make. So yeah, let's get right into it. Today, I'm gonna be talking about something that's very, very important to me and is something that I like base my whole entire life and what I believe off of. So for like the past probably 2 or 3 years, I've had this like feeling or just like always mentioned or talked about how I feel like we're in the middle of a new wave of consciousness, like how humanity and all of us are evolving into something different than what we have always been, and not necessarily like it's just happening fast, like we're evolving into something else, but like over the course of time, since like the 60s, we've been in a new wave of consciousness. And specifically now, especially with like everything that's going on in the world, I feel like it's getting to be even more apparent. Something is definitely shifting and changing. Something that's always kind of held me back or confused me or like kept me from talking about it is that I don't really know how, or I didn't really know what exactly is changing. Like I know that something's changing, that the way that humans are thinking or like the way that we're perceiving things is definitely shifting. But I've held off on talking about it because I don't know how to, or I didn't know how to describe it or like elaborate on that. But a good friend of mine told me to read this book. It's called The Seat of the Soul by Gary Zukav, and I've only read one chapter and I'm already like, wow, there's my answers. Like there is what I've been trying to grasp and get my mind around for the past 2-3 years, and it's here. The answers are here. So basically, like anyone that's into spirituality or like opening your third eye or all of this stuff that seems to be becoming more popular and more people are starting to get into, whether they're just getting into it because it's trendy or because it actually speaks to their soul is one thing, but for more people to be getting into it is what needs to happen, because it's part of the shift. It's part of the waking up and the unveiling of the new consciousness that humanity's shifting into. So when people say like they're awake or like they're waking up, it's the same thing as like having a spiritual awakening. You're just starting to realize that the things that you've been taught your whole life in the education system or just from entertainment isn't exactly the truth, or isn't exactly like what you perceived it to be when you were younger. So that's part of a spiritual awakening, realizing what's actually important in life and starting to kind of let go of your ego and realize that you don't always have to prove something to someone. Like you just have to live your life based on how you want to live your life and what makes you happy. That is another part of like waking up, but those are all like the like line of like what most people that are awake know or like understand. But I want to dig a little deeper and explain what I mean by consciousness is shifting, or like we're evolving as humans into a new consciousness. So let's get it. In this book, it talks about different types of power. It talks about external power and then authentic power. External power is what our society is based off of. External power is your typical power. Like you want to rule everything, you want to be the ruler, you want everyone to look up to you, you want to run the people, you want to be in charge. This type of external power that the world has used forever is what causes violence and what causes destruction and fear and oppression. Something that's really relevant right now that relates to this is police. Police departments literally run off of external power. You see them, you see a badge, you see the SWAT gear, you see all this stuff, and those symbols represent power and represent fear. So police is a great example of what our society has become because of external power and what the problem with it is that it causes fear and destruction. These institutions are reflections of what we as a society view power as, something you should fear. Money is also a part of external power. The more money you have, the more in control you are of your environment, where you live, who you're around, what you're doing. It's a status thing. It's all part of power. Money and power go like hand in hand. Material things, things that we don't want to lose, that we hold on to, it's all external power, things that are ingrained in our society that you have to own, you have to be above. That is our world right there. Power, ego, having the biggest ego. That is what we have been living like forever, and it's changing. Slowly but surely. The conflicts between religions, the conflicts between countries, the conflicts between anything, races, this is all external power. I'll read a part from this book that really stood out to me talking about external power. It says, "There is no difference between the agony of a splintered soul and the agony of a splintered nation. When a husband and wife compete for power, they engage the same dynamic that humans of one race do when they fear humans of another race." Everything in our society relates to how we are so hungry for power, hungry for some sort of power, whether it's followers on social media or like being promoted at your job. Like everything in our society is run on power. As you can see on how our world is going right now, it's not the greatest, and this is not what we're put on this earth to be and what we're put on this earth to do. We're not supposed to be fighting for the top row. We're supposed to be working together to get in here, not to get out there and up there. It's to get inside. So that takes us to what we are evolving into, and that is authentic power. This power is based on a deeper understanding of humanity and a deeper understanding of ourselves and the difference between your personality and your soul, and how you can work those together to truly find who you are and to truly live with the true purpose that you were supposed to be here for. An authentic power comes when we align our emotions with our thoughts and our actions. So pretty much once we become balanced, we have authentic power. The experience of authentic power is being filled with enthusiasm and passion and love and empathy and compassion for other people. Like, it's what would make the world go round so happily if everyone could just think this way, if the leaders of our world could think this way. But it takes people like us. If you're watching this video, I assume that you're probably interested in this kind of thing and are a light worker and wanting to like spread the knowledge and the love so that more people can think this way, so that eventually we really will shift as a species. And I already see so many more people waking up. This book says, and I truly believe, that achieving authentic power is the sole purpose of our being and our presence on this earth, is to figure out your soul, because your body, your personality is here temporarily on this floating rock, but your soul, it lives on, like it lives forever. Your soul was here before this, and your soul will be here after this. So that's who you really are, and that's who you need to get in touch with, not your ego, your personality that makes all these decisions for you. And then going along with the external power and authentic power, we're also evolving from 5 sensory beings to multi-sensory beings. 5 sensory beings are humans. It's what we are. We have 5 senses. We smell, taste, hear, all of that. Hush. So yeah, multi-sensory beings are beings that use more than just their 5 senses. Their intuition, their just powers, like magical powers, dude. We all have them. We all have them. Like, so as long as you are, hi, baby. Hi. What are you doing? Why are you so scared? Quit barking. Crazy. But yeah, like, As multisensory beings, we are extending further than this physical realm of things that we can smell, hear, taste, touch, and stop. And we're expanding and creating new senses. The book talks a lot about the differences between them, and it's a lot easier to understand than just saying like it's more than using your physical senses. So for example, from the perception of a regular human that's probably not awoken their pineal gland, their third eye, the universe is a physical thing that we are floating alone in. We're alone in this physical universe. That's what five-sensory humans would think. But a multi-sensory being would understand that the universe is alive and conscious and intelligent and is there for you. And once you start realizing that, and once you start connecting things and understanding that things are a sign and everything's connected, then the universe really starts to look out for you, and that's when you start to understand those multi-sensories, because you get feelings from the universe, and you see a deer and you understand that it's a sign from the universe that you're doing something good or that you're on the right path. And if you don't want to believe that, then be boring and don't believe that. But life is so much more fun and magical when you start to realize how connected everything is, and really use that to your own benefit in setting intentions for everything you do, and just really being connected to your spirit and your soul instead of just living this typical standard life that we've been force-fed for centuries to believe is the way that we should be living, and it's not. Like, look at natives and how the natives live. I mean, there was a lot of violence and destruction in the native land, but they were also very connected with their spirit and their soul, and we need to get back to that. And I think we are really truly getting back to that, and especially with everything going on in the world, I'm seeing so many more people like starting to realize like our government is not the people we should be looking up to. Like, we should not be like, I mean, yeah, wear your mask, like listen to what the government is saying and do it and be smart, but also think for yourself and understand like, why is this happening, or like what is this stemming from, and just be able to open up here and see more than what you're reading on social media or what you're seeing on the news. Especially the main point that I'm trying to get here is that for us to really truly shift as humanity or as a species is to separate your personality from your soul. And I'm not an expert in this topic. Like, I'm reading this book and trying to learn as much as I can because it speaks so much to me. But I'm not an expert. I'm doing it, I'm on my own journey, doing it on my own, but it's important for people to know that this is what it takes to change the world. That's what I believe, at least. Some people may not believe or agree with me, but that it is what it is. Like, your life is your life, and if I feel like I'm making a difference in the world by spreading this kind of knowledge and by trying to change myself in order to help other people change, then I think that's a great thing. I don't think that that's something that should be like shunned. I don't know. I didn't talk about this for so long because I figured like maybe the whole world isn't shifting their consciousness. Maybe it's just me that's shifting my consciousness. And sure, that could be the case, but I'm seeing so much stuff everywhere that speaks the same exact things. I bought this book, I bought another book that says it in the first page that the world is shifting consciousness, and I was like, okay, well, I'm not crazy. Like, this is really happening. This is real. But it's been happening since the 60s, since the psychedelic revolution. We've been able to think for ourselves and see that there's more than just this physical realm that we can touch and feel and smell and taste, but that there's more out there and there's more in here. This part of this book I just want to read because it spoke to me so much. I love it. It says, when the energy of the soul is recognized, acknowledged, and valued, it begins to infuse the life of the personality. When the personality comes fully to serve the energy of its soul, that is authentic empowerment. This is the goal, y'all. This is the goal of my life, the goal of the world. It should be the goal of everyone's life, is to... Ruka keeps hitting my tripod. But it should be the goal of everyone's life to connect your personality and your soul and to become one again, because then you will feel so much more at peace, because you will know like what you're truly wanting to like do and think and feel, and understanding the difference between actions that your personality makes whether than your soul. Like, everyone's personality is going to take over at times because it's the one running the game. Like, the soul is just watching it from afar, but the personality is the one driving. So obviously, like, that's where the mistakes and the violence and the anger and the negative feelings come from, is your personality. But your soul is loving and caring and sees the beauty of everything. So once you start to wake that up more, you will live a much more harmonious life. So yeah. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video and that it really spoke to you or sparked some interest, and maybe you'll start digging deeper on this new wave of consciousness that I'm all about. And share this with your friends, because I think even if I'm not explaining it perfect, it's very important for people to know and to be aware of. And it's very important for me that people are aware of it. So yeah, if you liked this, give me a thumbs up, make sure to subscribe and turn on that bell so you can be notified when I make more videos. So yeah, I'll see you guys on the flip side.